Look what just arrived, the Dreamkeeper Tarot. Now, I know this was initially promised to us back in September. I think it was September. I mean, it was a minute ago. This was promised and constantly delayed. I believe finally now we have it. The Dreamkeeper Tarot is here. So, pretty excited about this one. This one received, sorry for the camera shake, this one received quite a lot of hype. And I'm assuming it's well worth it. It is well worth it. Here is the back of the box. There you go. There's one side of the box. There is the book. Forgot to show you the back of the box. If you want to see that, please pause and check that out. And we have a book. We have quite a thick book indeed. That is nice. That is quite hefty. Only black and white, but I can put up with that. So it's a decent sized book. We have 177 pages. Really nicely formatted. Obviously, let's check out the cards and see what we are getting ourselves into. I really wish this was released last year. Really would have liked to seen this in 2020, I have to say, but I'll take it whenever I can get it. Let's take a look at these beautiful cards and zoom in a little bit. There we go, the Fool. That is very pretty. Here's the back of the cards. Everybody wants to see it. And now you have. The Fool is very nice indeed. I like that. Not really a cliff. It almost looks like a chessboard, doesn't it? Doesn't it look a little bit like a chessboard, I think? It looks very, very attractive, I can tell you that. Then we have the Creatrix, which I guess is the female magician. I don't know. We'll look at the book and find out exactly what they're trying to say. I love the borderless style as well. It does definitely have that Dreamkeeper feel, like the High Priestess. The Empress is sort of interesting, almost like a waterfall type feel for that. And then the Emperor just looks like some classic pose from something. I mean, got the little of the Aries feel within that, but that works. The Hierophant. Kind of cute. And then the Lovers. Wow, it seems that there's a distinct difference between some of these cards. Like the Lovers is just so much better looking than the Hierophant, in my opinion. It's just kind of interesting. I'm kind of wondering like where they were going with this. But yeah, the Lovers is very attractive indeed. I remember that being on the promos. Then we have the Chariot. Got the two horses sort of facing each other like the Lovers almost. Kind of interesting. A little bit of the starry feel in the background. Strength, I assume that is it's a snake coming out of an egg. Coming out of an egg. Ooh, that's kind of weird, but kind of cool. And the Hermit, I like it. Yeah, these colors are very subdued. I think a little more subdued. You like that the Hermit is looking like at a ghostly version of themselves? Let's sort of zoom in here and get a look at this ghostly version of themselves. That is cool. That is cool. Very indeed. It's almost like the clouds have a dreamy version of themselves that they're looking at. And then Fates. Here we go. Interesting. And we have Justice. Ooh, I like that. Multiple arms, holding the scale, holding various things in there. A little bit of a sword or a knife action over there on the other hand. Ooh, the Hanged Woman is very cool. I like that. I like that. Let's see what else we got. We got Death. A little bit of that spiraling restriction, it feels. I don't know if that's another snake. But it does look like that spiraling reflection kind of thing going on there. And then we have Temperance, which is also kind of cool. Kind of cool indeed. So the Devil, a little bit, wow. A lot of stuff going on in there. I'm not really sure what. But there is indeed quite a bit of things going on in there. And the Tower looks pretty cool. Not really sure what's happening in that. It's almost like they're growing out of a tree trunk. And then we have the Star. Ooh, very pretty. Look at that. It's almost like a fish bone, a boned fish, you know what I mean? The bones left over in a fish. And then the moon, which is interesting. There's not as much dynamicism in the deck as I thought there was going to be. The sun is very pretty. I guess it's just kind of samey to me. It's just a little bit samey. I'm not saying it's not attractive. I think it's pretty, but it just feels a little on the samey side, just a little bit. Judgment is kind of nice, hovering above the ground, kind of cool. And the world, there we go. So the majors is normally where you show off your best stuff. So I'm kind of curious where we're going from here. Ace of Wands. Ooh, look at the keyhole. A little bit of the keyhole action, like we're getting a peek in there of all of these things being mixed up. Ooh, I like that. I'm really kind of curious how these read. Two of Wands, again, very, very subdued color. I guess I expected this to be like the Tarot of the Mystical Moments a little bit, but it definitely is not there. We have a window. The Two of Wands has a window here. We're looking maybe at the domain of someone else or the domain of another realm. Three of Wands almost looks like the Fool a little bit. Got that cliff action, but I mean, the traditional sailboat in the background, and then looking out, scanning for where we want to go next. Ooh, that Four of Wands looks really mystical and kind of creepy. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see, the Five of Wands, the conflict. Look like somebody's head is on fire, maybe. Not really sure what's happening there. Very dreamy indeed. And the Six of Wands. Looks like that we are eating some grapes from the vine. Well, there you go. That's all you really need in life is some grapes from the vine. Just chow them down. And the Seven of Wands, the defensive action with the Eight. So what is going on here? It's got a little bit of that, the Michelangelo creation. The creation where God is sort of reaching out, touching Adam. It's got a little bit of that feel there. I mean, a little bit, or she's dragging her up. Yeah. And the Nine of Wands, pretty traditional. Band-aided up. And the Ten of Wands. So, not sure what's happening here. Definitely not being encumbered. Kind of have to wing some of this. And then the Ace of Cups. I like it. It's cute. A little bit of the Two of Cups action. Everybody loves the Two of Cups. Ooh, it's like a tree dude. It's like the dude made out of tree. Huh. This sort of could be for stability. Could be for maybe he's got a lot of wood. I mean, I'm just saying. Three of Cups, very traditional indeed. And the Four of Cups. I'm not sure what's going on with that dude's head. Apparently, I mean, there's some jokes we could insert in here, but I'm not sure why the dude's head is open and has scissors in it. But okay. The Five of Cups. We're always a little disappointing. It looks like a mermaid, but sort of emitting out of the source. And then we have the Six of Cups. Feels like a little scorpion tail there. And then the Seven, selection and choices, along with the Eight, disappointment and leaving. Again, we have this sort of this ethereal version of the person. It's sort of a coming out of them almost. Nine of Cups looks totally different than every card I've looked at so far. Not sure what's happening with that particular card, but sure. And then we have the Ten of Cups. Let's rest on the rainbow, sure. I guess the courts are going to be at the end. Ace of Swords. Not really sure what's happening there, but sure. And then we have the Two, pretty traditional, but it's like that she's facing away and facing towards us at the same time. Three of Swords, pretty traditional. A lot of people missing heads. It is the Headless Horseman deck. The Four of Swords, resting in the water. And the Five of Swords. A little bit of that defeatism and maybe octopus tentacles coming out. Kind of interesting with the sea, the sea vessels in the background, little rowboats. Then the 6, the person is the boat. And then the 7. There's a lot of good reinterpretations that you could take out of this. 8 of Swords, I think it's kind of interesting. And the 9 of Swords. Not sure what's happening there. The 10 of Swords. Looks like a magic trick, maybe. Okay, Ace of Pentacles. The 2 of Pentacles. A lot of repositioning of heads. The head is coming out of the crotch, apparently. We're not really juggling it. We just have our head emerging out of our crotch. The 3, we have a head made of pentacles, a head made of butterflies, and a pod, maybe with a moon there. Kind of interesting. Then the 4, sort of being greedy, sort of getting the scales done. Looks like a lot of just repositioning of body parts. And the 5 pentacles. Then the 6, giving, sort of interesting. And the 7, not really sure what's happening there. Again, half the head is missing. And then the 8, it's sort of interesting. Another sort of a chessboard feel at the bottom of that. I think it's kind of fun. Okay, 9, very traditional. And finally, the 10. Interesting, interesting. Wow, all the cards feel really samey. Really do. Okay, Page. I would say a knight is like halfway in, halfway out of the suit of armor, it feels like. But then we have the king. Interesting. The queen. And the Page of Cups. No fish, but they're sort of the fish. And then the Knight of Cups, the romance is there indeed. And let's see, after the Knight, we have the King, which has a sort of a wilted moon for a head. And then the Queen of Cups. The Page of Swords. Then we have the Knight of Swords, very traditional, but they're in a suit. Then you have the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Okay, finally we have the Page of Pentacles, which has like a skeleton, couple of skeletons intermixed. And then the Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and Queen of Pentacles. Deck feels very samey. When you get sort of in the suits, the deck does feel a bit samey to me. That's just me, though. That's just my humble opinion about all of this stuff. Let's take a look at the very thorough book that comes with this. Let me zoom out. There we go. A little bit of the zoom out action. And let's take a look at the book. So the first thing after it stops shaking, is it ever going to stop shaking? All right, let's take a look at the book. So it starts out with an introduction to the tarot deck. And then we have interpreting the cards, setting the space, and then asking your question. We have some sample tarot spreads. We have a card a day. We have this or that. Choosing between two paths, kind of fun. And then the Path of the Heart spread, along with the Mirror of Relationship spread. And then we start with the Major Arcana on page 15. So we have a sort of a little half-page look at the card, and then a very, very thorough explanation of the Fool, which consumes almost 2 pages, page and a half, which also consists of a divinatory message, right here, we have a divinatory message for the Fool, followed by the keywords for the Fool. So here's your sample text from page 2, and then page 1, we have this. So here is the full text, and you can pause and sort of read that. There you go. I wanted to zoom in a little because sometimes it's hard to see. So let's go over here to, let's say, the world, for example, and take a look at that. Here is the world. A nude figure stands at the center of the cosmos, etc., etc. And then down here, when gazing upon the figure of the card, it may be helpful to recall the figure in card 1, the creatrix. And then at the very end, we have a little more of divinatory message. And then the keywords. So there you go. Now the minor arcana starts on page 59. For each one of those, it looks like we get an equivalent amount of text. So if you're looking for just the meaning and whatnot, it goes over that. Also talks about some sort of a, wow, that's a lot of text. That is quite a bit of text for the card. For a minor, normally you get like a discounted version and whatnot, but that is a thorough amount of text for all the cards. So at the very end, obviously it's going to be probably about the author. Yeah, they are. About the artist, about the author, and acknowledgments. Yeah. And then the index of artworks. Okay, so this is going to be very handy indeed. If you're wondering where the artwork came from, there is your references. So the Devil Here Now, Forbidden Desire, Temperance, Self-Help as a Competitive Sport, etc., etc. So there's your artwork index, and that has a lot of text. That is a lot of text. I think overall I paid, what, $20 for it? For $20, I like it. Again, it's a little samey, but that's very minor. It is sort of a dreamy type of deck to begin with. Overall, I'm very, very happy with this. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.